All right, welcome back to Market Pros, and here we have Bitcoin on the 1 hour. We're gonna go over the chart layout real quick so you know what I'm looking at, and then we'll move on to the analysis. So here we have your moving averages, yellow being your 21, red being your 50, blue being your 100, and purple being your 200. Then we have your VPVR here to your right, which measures horizontal volume at a certain price level. Basically how your volume is vertical, this volume is horizontal. Then we have your momentum oscillators, one being your RSI, one being your MACD. Then we have a volatility measurement, which is called your BBWP. All right, so now that you can see what I'm looking at, we'll go over the analysis. So your moving averages, your 21 did cross your 50, your 21 and your 50 did cross your 100, your 21 did cross your 200. Now your 50 looks to be trying to cross your 200. So we are having this multi-crossover here. Now, if so far we are being held down by the 50 and 200, basically front ran our trend line that we had drawn out. We could still get up there, possibly up to the 100 and this trend line and then get rejected. That's one scenario. We will go over the bullish and bearish scenarios here in a minute. So your momentum oscillators, RSI, still in the bearish control zone, getting front ran of that neutral median line. Question is, do we come back down to the signal line, retest, resumption up? Do we resume from here? Or do we break this signal line to the downside? Now, if we break the signal line to the downside, that's going to go into the bearish scenario. If we go up from here or test the signal line to the upside and break out of the bearish control zone, that's going to go into the bullish scenario. All right, let's see. Do we have any divergences? We actually do. We actually did. We had it from this point to this point. Once this was confirmed a local low, we did come up. Let's see how far we came up from a wick to wick basis. We came up 1%. So I think that bullish divergence could have already played out. MACD, pretty strong upside curvature. Your positive momentum starting to wane a little bit, but we'll find out. If it does start coming down all the way to the zero line, that's going to feed into the bearish scenario, especially if we start printing dark red bars on that histogram. If we do that, I would expect this MACD line to curl over and possibly cross that signal line, adding to the bearish momentum. BBWP is curling over. We are in the lower zone. We are above the 10 percentile though right now. So the volatility is happening. We could still expand from here. If we enter the upper zone, I would expect us to cross this moving average to the upside and the volatility to continue. Now, here's the bullish and bearish case. Bearish case is that we break this last wick at basically 16,870. If that happens, I would expect us to come all the way back down to 16,700 if we break that. Next stop is 16,500. I'd say 16,500. If we break 16,500 down to the bottom of the range, we go 15,500 in my opinion. Now, levels of support are going to be basically the POC on the VPVR right here at 16,980, basically where we are right now. If we break that, next level of support is 16,932. After that, we're going to have, obviously our last low at 16,870. After that, it's going to be 16,812 region. All right, and then we'll come back to it. Now, bullish case is that you break back above this trend line and get back above the range. If that happens, I would expect this to be one big bear trap and us to come up to 17,400. We break 17,400, 18K is the next stop. And then, like I said, I would expect this to be a bear trap and us to resume to the upside all the way up to 18K if we can break 17,400. And like I said, the bearish case is that we break the 16,870 level, basically this last low. All right, so that's basically your bullish and bearish case for Bitcoin. Pretty short update today. We're waiting to see what happens next. We're waiting to see whether we get a retest and a resumption from here, or a break back into this trend line. So we got two bearish cases, one bullish case. All right, so let's move on to Ethereum after we check the order blocks. So right now we are being rejected from the top of a demand block. All right, so I would expect some support at the 16,900 level according to the order blocks. If we fall below 16,850, okay, so we're going to change that level to 16,850. We fall below there, you know, that 16,700 mark is going to come into play. Right now, your stochastic is pointed to the downside. Same with your signal line. Pretty strong upside curvature right now. No divergences to be aware of. And yeah, so we're going to take it from here. Let's move on to Ethereum. If you guys are liking this video so far, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below, one being the Discord. A lot of good conversation about crypto trading, investing, markets as a whole. We stay ahead of this market collectively. Talk about these moves before they happen. We share strategies, tips, trades. You know, we basically work together to trade this market. So here on Ethereum, being held down by the 21 right now, got a multi-crossover to the downside. 50 even crossed your 200 and your 100. Okay, so we got this multi-crossover, but we are kind of moving sideways, so be careful. All right, because these multi-crossovers can actually signify a bottom in the market, in the trend, when you are moving sideways in a range. Now, if we break this 1225 level at the bottom of this purple box, and these moving averages all start to fan out, that's going to decide the true trend is to the downside. Now, we're going to have major resistance at the 50, the 200, and the 100. And definitely, basically, in between the 200 and the 100 at the POC point of control in the VPVR at 1265. Momentum oscillators. RSI, trying to get out of that bearish control zone above your signal line. Had come down for a retest. MACD, pretty fresh cross to the upside. Positive momentum is increasing. If we can get back above this high on the histogram, that's going to look good. As long as we don't cross the signal line to the downside, we could still continue some bullish momentum here, possibly getting up to this 50 and this 200. Going to have some major support at 1250. Basically where we found support after getting up to the 21 and coming back down. We are being held down by the 21 right now, so if we can break it, I expect us to come up between this 50 and this 200. Probably a minor rejection there. Now, if we get a resumption down and break this last low at 12, basically 12, we'll say 1244, that last wick low, even a 1 hour closure below 1246, I would expect us to come down to the bottom of this box after getting a bounce at 1232. Basically, this VPVR level here to your right. BBWP, curling back up in the lower zone, but way above that 10 percentile. So if we can curl this back up, get back into that upper zone, cross that moving average, we're going to have a big move coming. A big move coming. All right. Basically, either Bitcoin's going to 18K or 15,500. And we will keep you up to date all along the way. All right. So bullish case is that you can break the 100 for Ethereum at basically 1270. I'd like to see 1270 broken. You know, basically get back, you know, above this last low and the 100. And if that happens, I would expect this to come up to the top of this BART, previous BART at 1288. Bullet bearish case is that we break this last low, 1247, even 1243. But honestly, I would like to see a 1 hour closure below 1246. And then, you know, I would expect some sort of support at 1240, and then possibly, you know, then we got two different scenarios. Either we get a double bottom, resumption up, or if we break that 1240 level, you know, I would expect us to come down to this box pretty swiftly after a bounce 1232. All right, let's move on to Solana. Solana, like we were talking about, did not look good. We did get the breakdown, got the multi-moving average crossover. Fan out confirmation. We are in the bearish control zone, trying to get up there though to the top of the bearish control zone. That's going to be major resistance. Let's see here. MACD Fresh cross to the upside. Positive momentum is increasing. So do we get a bounce to the 50? Possibly even up to the 100 where this POC is lying right now. 1355. 1355 to 1350. All right. Like I said, your MACD. Okay, so look at this. The volatility has went down as the price action is going up, which makes me think this is a corrective move. We could just get rejected from this 21 right now. Bearish case is that we break this last low at 1294, even 1295, 1282. We could break without a closure. I would like to see a 1294 closure to the downside on the 1 hour. Bullish case is that we break the POC in the 200 at 1367. Even 1368 is what I would like to see. If that happens, I would expect us to come up to this last high and this VPVR level at basically $14. If we can break that, next stop, 1434. And then we will come back to it. All right, so let's go over to the order blocks for Ethereum. See what we got here. So we did bounce off of this demand block. Now we're coming up. Looks like we could come up to the 1260 region. According to the order blocks and the Bollinger Bands. Stochastic is getting up there. Are going to enter extreme zones pretty soon, but this bounce could last a little longer. All right, for Solana, we're far below any blocks. Stochastic is pointed to the upside. Like I said, there could be more in this bounce. We're going to have major resistance to that 1341 level. Now, what does that coincide with? 1341. Basically our 50. Okay, so we're going to have major resistance there. That could be where we get rejected from. Like I said, we could get the bounce, could continue with this bounce, come up to the 50, and then get rejected. All right, but a lot of that's going to depend on what Bitcoin does. So pay attention to Bitcoin. Pay attention to your BBWP crossing this moving average to the upside. Actually, just getting into the upper zone would work for me. And then we'll come back to it. Okay, so once again, if you guys liking the video, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below. Join the Discord. It is the place to be. I wish everyone well. Everyone have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening.